is 2023, and I am about to turn 43 years old. My doctor has just informed me that I am at high risk for future osteoporosis. I have to double my vitamin D and calcium intake and make sure not to break any bones. I'm freaking out, not just because of the new medical issues, but for some reason, 43 feels like I might as well be turning 50 or 80. It's because I am a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy fan. And yes, and according to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything is 42. That's right. So after the initial shock of 40 wore off, I was looking forward to 42. I figured I was going to get all the meaning of life and all the answers. Spoiler alert, I did not. So after 42 was over, I felt like there was nothing else to look forward to except for old age and death. So I'm deep in my feels at this coffee shop, and this woman comes in, she's standing next to me, and she's wearing this really interesting tree necklace. I say, cool tree necklace. She says, thanks, my mom gave it to me because I'm a tree climber. What's that? She explains. She says that she travels all over the world climbing trees with a legit tree climbing guru. This man has been featured on National Geographic. Sounds very interesting. I grew up in the redwood forest of Northern California, so I asked her, have you ever climbed a redwood tree? She gets even more excited and says, yes! Oh my God, that's my favorite one. She tells me that birds drop seeds on the enormous branches so that other trees grow out of them. And it's like a secret bonus sky forest. It sounds magical. So she tells me, you have to contact the guru. The redwood climb is coming up, but don't get your hopes up. It's probably full. I call him, and he says, you've been sold out for over a year, but I just got a cancellation this morning, which never happens. If you want the spot, it's yours. I think about what my doctor told me about not breaking any bones and how climbing hundreds of feet up in the air is probably not what she had in mind. And also it cost $400, which seems absurd to pay that much for something that we did for free as kids. Except for I wasn't able to, because the redwood branches are way too high up. So I grew up staring at the redwood canopies, wondering what it would look like up on top. I do some research, and I find out that there is only one place in the entire world where you can climb an old-growth redwood, and it is only during the 2-week period every year that this guru takes people up there. I get that feeling in my stomach that's like equal parts excitement and fear when I know that I need to do something or I'm going to regret it. I pay the $400. The first thing I have to do is sign a waiver saying that I know what the risk is for climbing hundreds of feet up a redwood. It's death. Death is the risk. There's a clause that says you have to arrive by 8:45 a.m. on the day of the climb or you will forfeit your place. And I have a lot of anxiety about this. Not just the risk of death and the money, but I am chronically late. Everywhere I go, it has just been the bane of my existence. But I am determined not to be this time. I drive hours up north the day before to my parents' house. It's only 40 minutes from the climb site. I wake up early with every intention of getting on the road. And for some inexplicable reason, I still don't leave until the last possible minute. You're wondering why? How? I have no answers. 42. So there's two ways to get there. One is a little shorter and take off in that direction. The GPS says that I will arrive at 8:47. I am just stress driving, speeding through the morning traffic, hating myself, trying to make up for these couple minutes so I can be there at 8:45. Just feeling awful, like, why did I do this again? Why? How? It doesn't make any sense. Why did I leave late? I'm halfway there, and I see it. A construction sign. I pull up, just frantically, like whining to this construction worker. No, please, I'm late. I have to get somewhere, please. He says, sorry, ma'am, there's been a mudslide. And yes, I do notice that he called me ma'am. I'm old now. I say, oh my God, please, is there just any way? Can you just let me go by? Please, let me just try to go by. I can't be late. And he says, no. So I flip around and I start voice texting the guru, begging him to let me show up late, completely blaming the mudslide. It's only the mudslide's fault. And he writes back and says 9:05 is the last possible minute that we can wait. My GPS now says 9:16. I say, I'll be there. And now I'm driving even faster and more recklessly, hating myself even more, well aware of how dangerous this is, how much more risky it is for my life. I feel awful, just full of anxiety. I pull up at 9:12 and I find this small group of people standing around waiting for me. And I just feel awful. I run out red-faced and apologizing, just plagued with guilt. They gear me up, and the next thing I know, I'm on this rope connected to the tree. But I am just in my head. I keep thinking to myself, you paid $400 for this. Enjoy it already. And it's really hard. You have to use this pinch grip to sort of like inchworm your way up the rope. And I am just still rushing. I get to the top before anybody else, and there's nowhere else to go. I have arrived. I force myself to take the first deep breath I've taken all day and just look around. And it is like strangely quiet up there, and I'm on top of all of the other trees, like way above all of the other trees, 200 feet in the sky. I look around and I can see all the way to the ocean. It's like being on top of the world. They call this tree the grandfather. It is the biggest in the old-growth forest, over 1,000 years old. And the bark looks different than it does on the ground. It looks softer and thinner. And I reach out and I touch it, and I swear it's like I can feel the wisdom of this ancient tree. And it makes me feel really young. Like I can almost hear it laughing at me for thinking that 43 is old. And for the first time in a long while, I have this appreciation for my body. I think about how strong I am, how I just climbed 200 feet up a rope. And I also think about how mean I have been being to myself, beating myself up for being older and needing a little extra care, how awful that is. I suddenly feel so grateful that I didn't die in a car accident on the way there. and how much I hate the feeling of stress driving because I'm getting somewhere late. It makes me think about how much more learning I have to do. I feel like a kid in a tree. I rappel back down like a freaking tree ninja. And this time I notice the enormous branches with the other trees sticking out. They're coming out just like the lady told me about, the secret sky forest. And I think about how adaptable life is, how we're all just doing the best we can with the time that we have. When I get to the ground, I'm no longer worried about being 43. I feel ready to take care of myself and deal with the new medical issues and to finally get to the bottom of my time management problems and take control of them. Because, like the grandfather, I know I will continue growing. Thank you.
Female reporter.